Today we are beginning chapter 27 of Tanya. So remember that we're on this quest to understand the power of joy and how sadness can harm our spiritual service and how sadness can interfere with us conquering the small city and really doing this mission of choosing God in every moment. So we've already explored sadness that comes from past sins. We've explored sadness that comes from missing material things or things that we feel are very essential to us, like chai, bane, and mazone, children, health, and sustenance. But what if that's not where our sadness is stemming from? What if my sadness is stemming from unholy thoughts or inappropriate thoughts or desires that come up? And therefore, I'm not feeling good about myself. I'm feeling sad about my spiritual standing. What's the Alter Rebbe's advice? So remember at the beginning of Tanya, we said that all of Tanya is based on questions that people are constantly asking the Alter Rebbe for over a decade. And he said, okay, let me compile the answers in a way that any person can come at any point and feed their soul, get the answers for their soul that they need. So I imagine the question of this chapter being something like this. Dear Alter Rebbe, if I desire forbidden things or have inappropriate thoughts, how should I view myself? Should I view myself as this evil, horrible person, right? Is that something to feel bad about, that I have these inappropriate thoughts or desires? How does God see me, right? Or how can I view myself? When these thoughts and desires pop into your head while you're doing mundane tasks, right? Just in the middle of your day, doing your stuff, it should be a tremendous cause of celebration. Why? Because before, you're just doing something mundane, just caught up in day-to-day routine, and now you have the opportunity, the mitzvah moment to fulfill the mitzvah of V'lo tatru achrei levavchem v'achrei einechem. You should go astray. You should not fall off your heart and eyes, lest you go astray. Meaning, here comes this thought. And what's this thought doing? Oh, this thought of this inappropriate, forbidden desire, or just this nasty thought about someone, whatever it is. It's coming to make me sad. It's coming to make me feel bad about myself and feel like my spiritual standing is low. And so by pushing that thought away with two hands, to affect which dime, say, no thanks, not interested. Pushing that thought away completely out of our mind. Therefore, I'm fulfilling I'm not transgressing the prohibition of don't follow after your heart and eyes lest you go astray. This thought is here to lead me astray. It's here to make me sad. And so thereby, by ignoring it, I'm doing this tremendous mitzvah. And so you might be thinking, okay, but we didn't do a positive commandment. We just didn't violate a negative commandment. And therefore, we learn in Gemara Kedushin, one who stays put in the face of temptation and does not transgress will be given the same reward as if he had actually performed a positive command. So therefore, by diverting one's attention from these negative thoughts and not playing into them, not being their toy, not being the Yetzer Hara's toy, but saying, no, I'm in the middle of doing something. I am not going to be brought into the state of sadness right now, but feeling bad about myself. Meaning the issue is not having the thoughts. The issue is identifying with it. Meaning if I start thinking about I really don't like this person and blah, 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 and I catch myself thinking about it, and I'm like, ugh, I'm such a bad person, such a bad Jew, the issue is not the thought. The issue is the post-thought, is what I make it mean about myself, is when I identify with the thoughts. But when I don't identify with it, and I don't let myself get sad or disheartened in any way by it, I just fulfilled the mitzvah of don't fall off your heart and eyes lest you go astray. I did not allow myself to be led astray to feeling gross about myself. And that is a tremendous mitzvah. That is a cause for tremendous celebration. So the Alter Rebbe says you should view yourself as a champion, okay? You're having inappropriate desires. You're thinking negative thoughts. See yourself as a champion. I'm pushing that thought away. I'm not going to that space of negativity. I'm not going to allow it to drag me where it wants to drag me. I'm in the middle of my day. I'm not going there. And right, because it's not coming to bring me to genuine tshuva. It's coming to make me sad, let's be honest. And so therefore, you should feel really good about yourself, that you are able to catch yourself, disidentify with the thought, and move on. That is extraordinarily powerful. One of the main purposes of Tanya is giving people the joy of serving God in the way that was designed for their spiritual standing. Meaning, yearning to be holier than thou causes a lot of suffering and misery, right? If I think I can never really serve God because I'm not a tzaddik and I have these inappropriate desires and these negative thoughts, that's not holy. That's actually just making me sad, which is going to lead me to sin and farther away from serving God in an authentic way. So the Alter Rebbe really gives us permission to be us. You are the Beinoni. You can choose Hashem in thought, speech, and action. Meaning when the thought pops into your head, about an inappropriate desire or a negative thought, that's not you. Hashem is sending that into your space so that you have the opportunity to do this mitzvah of don't follow after your heart and your eyes lest you go astray. It's an opportunity to ignore that thought, to not identify with it. And a person could say, but I don't even want the thought in the first place. And the Alter is saying, no, know your place. Understand the way that you can serve God and find joy in serving God in the way that was meant for you, instead of forever yearning to be holier than thou, which is really just a perfectionistic mindset. And we're calling it holy, but Alter is calling it for what it is. It's perfectionism, and it's not knowing one's place. True joy comes from serving God in the way that's really within my control. So question. Why would having forbidden desires and inappropriate thoughts cause a person's sadness? And the answer the Alter Rebbe says very bluntly is an inflated ego. And bluntly, but lovingly. Not knowing one's place. When a person ponders how tzaddikim, they don't even have these thoughts. They don't even struggle with these things. It makes them depressed. Why? Because they don't know their place. They don't know that I have my unique way of serving God. And serving God like a tzaddik has nothing to do with me. A person needs to have a hardcore reality check, is what the Alter is saying. And remember that being a tzaddik, being completely righteous, is not how they were chosen to serve God. They are chosen to serve God through the battle. For the Beinoni, the battle is the victory. Joy comes from focusing on what is in my control. And the Alter says a more realistic expectation would be if only one would be a Beinoni and not be Rasha for even a moment the whole of their life. Meaning just choosing God in thought, speech, and action. That is a tremendous accomplishment. Let me work with what's in my ability versus having this perfectionistic mindset of I shouldn't even have the challenge. It's really just shaming the challenge and therefore shaming myself versus saying, no, this is a challenge from God and I can serve God right here, right now, in this moment. A Beinoni's mission is to do spiritual push-ups, to divert the mind completely from them, these negative thoughts, dismiss each inappropriate thought vigorously with two hands. Meaning my job is not to go in and psychoanalyze myself and where is it coming from and really I'm a bad person. Okay, yeah, you want to get into it? Yeah, we have bad in us. We have Ra in the 10 soul powers of our animal soul. So what? That's not who I am, right? Freud dug deep and he found the id. If he would have dug deeper, he would have found the id. Underneath all the ichsa and the gross in this, it's just a pure godly soul. Big surprise, we're good at the end of the day. And yeah, we have evil inside of us, but that's not who I am. And identifying with the thoughts and the desires and the whims that come up from the animal soul to our minds, it's just going to make me feel bad about myself, and it's untrue. Because in truth, those thoughts are not mine, right? They're just popped into my mind. The only reason they're there is for me to ignore them, to disidentify with them, and stay on the mission. And so spiritual push-ups are taking your two hands and saying, you're not even wrestling with the thoughts. You're just not letting it be in your space any longer. And so really, I see them as, right? Alter Rebbe says, push them away with two hands. So we're doing push-ups all day long. And every day we're getting stronger. Every day we're getting more buff in it. And we're getting more confident in ourselves that this is not me. I do not need to feel like a bad person. One of my favorite activities is catching myself, thinking a thought, and be like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? I'm such a fake. Like, who do I think I am? Wait a second. The sin is when I'm identifying with the thought. Not the thought. The thought is not mine. I have a mitzvah. Push it away. And like, wow, I can actually feel good about myself that I had the self-control to choose God by pushing away those thoughts and not identifying with them. There is no founded reason for sadness over your spiritual standing. Surprise! Instead, focus on appreciating the spiritual effect of your spiritual push-ups. I mean, the Yetzer Hara wants you to make you feel bad. It's like, hey, if I can't get the guy to sin, I'll just let them think all these, inappropriate desires and negative thoughts and start judging people, and then they'll feel bad about themselves. No. Do not let yourself be fooled into that. Do not focus on sadness over my spiritual standings. I still have these negative thoughts coming in my mind. No, focus on what's in my control. And what's in my control is do spiritual push-ups. Say, no thought, I'm not allowing you to take over right now. I'm not going to identify with you. I'm doing spiritual push-ups. I'm pushing you away with two hands. And I heard explained in the name of Rabbi Y.Y. Jacobson, one hand is for the conscious mind and one hand is for the subconscious mind. I'm like, no, you are not mine. I do not identify with you. Out, okay? And let ourselves feel good about that. Right? If I'm not allowing myself to feel good about it, I miss the whole point. The Yetzer Hara is coming to make me feel bad about myself. And the Alter Rebbe is saying, no, the opposite. Feel good about yourself. Because you are serving God in that moment by doing the spiritual push-up, by not identifying with the negative thought, by moving forward. When the negative forces tempt you to sin, but fail, these forces become weaker and are subdued. The Sitra Achra, the side of otherness, in your animal soul will not be eliminated completely as with the tzaddik. It's still there. But every time you resist a transgression, the negative forces inside you take a blow. With an awakening from below, there's an awakening from above. This is the Hasidic concept of Arusa de la Sata and Arusa de la Ela. Right? Our efforts below have an effect above. With the weakening of the Sitra Achra, the negative forces down here, the Sitra Achra is subdued above in the higher worlds. By battling my own inner darkness, by wrestling with myself, therefore I'm actually causing more light and more subduing of the Sitra Achra above. I mean, the Alter Rebbe really wants us to appreciate our inner work of saying, no, Sitra Achra, I'm not letting you make me sad right now. I'm not identifying with these thoughts. I'm pushing them away. That is pushing Sitra Achra away in the higher worlds. That is having a huge, tremendous spiritual effect. And so we should appreciate our cosmic effect, right? Might think, oh, it's only tzaddikim really affect the world in a positive way. I'm just busy wrestling with my stupid negative thoughts. That's a negative thought itself, okay? And the Alter Rebbe wants us to instead feel good about ourselves and realize the cosmic effect that we're having on the spiritual worlds. The Sitra Achra has an energy of an inflated ego, which makes itself as high as an eagle soaring above. So by subduing it, you fulfill the verse, if you lift yourself high like an eagle, from there I will bring you down, says God. Right? We are actually subduing the Sitra Achra. We are bashing evil in the cosmos, the spiritual cosmos. Through your spiritual push-up, crushing the Sitra Achra, the negative forces, you increase God's glory, thereby giving God an unparalleled joy. You heard it, an unparalleled joy. This is the spiciness of the Beinoni, okay? That the tzaddikim can't touch, all right? Then the glory of the Blessed Holy One is exalted more than by any other praise. And this ascent is greater than all. Okay? By crushing the Sitra Achra, by saying, no, I'm not giving in to you. I'm not giving into this negative thought. I'm not giving into this negative desire. I'm pushing it out of my space. And I'm going to feel good about that. I'm giving God a unique glory that a tzaddik never could. An unparalleled joy. So you might be thinking, really? Like little me, I'm giving God unparalleled joy? Yes, all they're saying, you, that person who's having a negative thought and inappropriate desires, you, by not identifying with it and pushing it away, you are giving God unparalleled joy. So not just because you not feel bad about yourself, feel like the superhero that you are.